dad gang, but also runner gang. I wear many hats. I would say both literally and figuratively, but literally I probably just wear this dad gang hat if I'm ever wearing a hat. So just figuratively, I wear many hats. Dad gang, runner gang, teacher gang, nerd gang, athlete gang, not warming up properly for my long runs gang, basement bar gang. Anyway, that's not what this video is about. This video is more about overcoming adversity gang and achieving goals gang. So what I really want to talk about is a 5K I ran yesterday. And I raced this 5K. It wasn't like an actual event where there were other people racing. It was just me, and I decided I wanted to go out and race a 5K against myself, against my previous best time. Or at least my previous best time from the last 5 years. Maybe I ran a faster 5K in middle school or high school, but I don't have that data with me. What I do have is what's currently on my Strava, and that time was a 25-minute, 11-second 5K. And that was, I don't even remember when it was, a couple summers ago maybe. And it was extremely hot that day. Yesterday when I ran, it was only 50 degrees and a little bit of cloudy, a little bit of wind, so it probably was even felt less than 50 degrees. But I kind of just want to take you all through my run and through the different parts of it and what my mindset was like and how I felt during each part of this 5K. And I really want to mention how proud of myself I am for pushing through and smashing that time of 25 minutes 11 seconds and setting a new PR.
So my goal for this run was basically to hold an 8-minute pace throughout the entire race. But at the beginning, coming out of the gate, I came out a little hot, as you do when your adrenaline's pumping and you're just ready to get going and ready to get after it. I remember glancing down at my watch and it said I think it said a 7:30 pace, and I was thinking to myself, goodness, you better slow down now or you're just going to burn out. But you'll notice in the rest of this first mile, I finally did sort of get to the point where I was hovering around that 8-minute mark. The only problem with that is I feel like I was checking my watch way too often. I feel like I was maybe being a slave to my watch rather than just listening to my body and feeling my body and just moving. So maybe a tactic I'll try at some point is just to start my watch and leave it in my pocket or somewhere I can't see it. That way I feel like I'm not just running for my watch, but I'm actually feeling my stride and listening to my body as I run a race like this. Because who knows, maybe I could have held a 7:45 pace for the entire 5K and shaved even more time off. About the time I got through the first mile, I decided I need to focus less on my watch and what it was saying and more on the running ahead of me. So during the second mile, you're really just going to see my pace dip down to about an average of 7:50, and that was me just locking in and going, not really worrying about anything else. At this point, I was focusing a lot more on my breathing and how I was going to get on with the second half of this race. And about here is probably when I checked my watch again, and that was really just to see the distance. I decided I was going to find a turnaround point to head back towards where I had started. My initial plan was to just keep on running straight all the way down the Riverwalk until the 3.1 miles was ran, but I decided I wasn't really looking forward to the walk back after that or even the light jog. I still did a light jog afterwards for a little cool down anyways, but I wasn't really looking forward to the trek back after a one-way trip. Now when I got to this last mile, I was sucking air. I was breathing so hard. I was running by people on the trail. They were probably like, is this guy all right? He might go down on us here. And maybe that's what they were thinking, but of course just other patrons on the trail. If you've ever run in a place where there are other people. You know, they look at you and give you the polite smile and the nod, or maybe a thumbs up or just a head nod. But I'm sure they could tell I was pushing it and maybe even struggling a little bit. But in my mind, I just pretended they were cheering me on and they wanted me to win the race. So I held up strong for the spectators, that's for sure. And then going into the last half mile, I wanted to quit so badly. I can't express how much I wanted to stop, but how much I just kept moving anyways. I was breathing so hard. Getting air is the hardest part of running for me. Just getting air to my lungs and keeping my heart rate low enough to stay alive is the most difficult part. But I just kept putting one foot in front of the other, and I would do a little burst of speed every few meters just to keep me going. And it got me there. We got to the end. 24:22 5K is a new PR. And I'm happy for it. I'm happy for it now. Next goal is to break 24. Wish me luck. Thank you guys for watching. Let's keep moving.